I looked over the right wing real good, checked the ailerons and the flaps, and everything looked real good. Looked at the top of the wing, at the fabric, and checked everything out on it, and it all looks real good. I got some lube and lubricated the hinges and the hinge pins on the aileron and the flaps. Opened up the inspection cover in the wing and for the aileron cables and lubed those up, and the turnbuckle attach fittings. So the right wing is pretty good. I've started on the left wing. I lubed the flap control hinges and stuff on that and checked it out. And then I started looking on the top of the wing on the fabric, and I knew I had a cut in the fabric up there on the top of the wing. I found it last summer when I was pre-flighting the airplane once. I put some poly spray on it, but it was raining so much and everything that I couldn't really get a patch put on it, and I didn't really have the opportunity to patch it. So I knew where to look for that, and I found it. I've got it cleaned up now, and I went up and dug out all my fabric stuff here. Well, I've got this one piece of tape right here, and I've kind of sized it with poly brush. By putting the poly brush on it real thin, that sets the fabric so that you can cut it and handle it without it fraying too bad. Oh, this is one that I had previously done. It's a cut off piece that left over. Well, I took it up there and drew out the line around where I want the patch to go. Just a real small cut, and this patch will go over it pretty good. So I've got to go find pinking shears. I can cut that out, and then I can glue it down. And this is poly spray here. Now all of the poly stuff, the chemicals is just vinyl basically. It's all pretty much the same, except the poly spray has a pink, or the poly brush has a pink tint in it, so you can see where it's gone. So to prove that it's on the fabric when you paint the fabric on the airplane. And then the poly spray has got aluminum filings in it, real small aluminum in it, and that's for UV protection. And of course the aluminum always comes out of suspension in here, so we've got to stir this up and get this stuff all back up in suspension in here before I put that all on. Well, I got to go find pinking shears, and I can cut that little patch out, and then we can glue it on with some poly spray. A lot of times I would go ahead and mix up some paint, the yellow finish coat on the airplane, and go ahead and just do a spot repair on it. But I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not. I want to get that cut patched first, and then get other things done so we can get the plane going. And if I have time, I want to clean up that cowling and paint it. And if I do, I start mixing up paint for it, then I'll go ahead and paint that patch. So I haven't finished my inspection of the left wing yet. I knew that one cut was there, and I knew I had to fix it. And I've looked from the landing light in towards the inboard section of the airplane, and I haven't seen anything else there on the top of the wing or the bottom of the wing. I haven't got out to the aileron yet because I got a whole bunch of crap stacked up out there, and I can't get to it yet. So I'm going to have to move a bunch of stuff before I get back out there to that aileron. So anyway, I'll get this thing fixed and get this patch put on there and let it dry. Oh, it takes about 24 hours for it to cure completely. It doesn't take that long for it to get sticky, but there's my little patch. You see, it's not very big. It was just a little slit, just a little cut in there. This is where the main spar is, and it was just behind that. When I saw it, it was just some ringworm in there, which is where it breaks kind of in a circle through the paint, and just kind of makes like a dent in it. Only it's not dented because it doesn't dent the fabric, but there was a little cut in there. I cleaned it up last summer, put some poly spray on it, and I found that little cut. It was just too wet to fix it, so figured I'd wait till I got it in here. Well, now it can sit there. I've got a little coat of poly spray on it. It's going to take a little bit for that stuff to all dissolve together, the stuff that was in the fabric underneath here. See, I've cleaned out that paint all around there down to the fabric, and so it'll take a little bit for that poly brush, the solvents in it, to dissolve and plasticize the stuff that's underneath there, and the poly brush that was in that little patch. So I'll probably come back here in a few minutes and put another coat of poly spray on it. The rest of this left wing looks pretty good. There is one patch out there just this side of that last rib out there toward the wingtip. Oh, there's a patch right there too. That one got blended in there pretty good. The right wing has got a whole bunch of patches on it. What happens there is the crows get down there on the wing and they start pecking on it, drumming it, and it'll make ringworm, which is just where it breaks through the paint and it makes kind of a broken paint pattern in a circle. And call it ringworm. But then they'll also sometimes break right through the fabric and poke little holes in it. So you got to come in like ringworm. We'll clean the paint off of it and then just put some more poly spray on it and then spot repair it. But if they poke a hole in it or anything, then they have to clean it up all the way down to the fabric or down to the poly spray and poly brush underneath and get the paint all off of there, cut a patch over it and put a patch on it. So the nothing on the right wing this year, that was good. The only one was on this left wing right here. And I wouldn't mind being able to take the gas tank covers off there and repainting those, but I don't know whether I'm going to get to it or not here. So the rest of the wing work looks pretty good out here in the front, but I've got to move a bunch of that crap out of there. That's those boxes of frog skin that we got piled up for building house wrap. So I got to get that stuff out of there so I can get back there and check those hinges and check that aileron and lube those pulleys there. Both wings are done. I looked them over real good, top and bottom. Lubricated the aileron pulleys and all of the hinge points and stuff on the ailerons and the flaps. The only thing that I ran into on it was that one little cut in the fabric up there on top of the left wing. I've got that patched up. So that's good. The wings are both all inspected and lubricated and good. I got one more thing maybe to do on the flaps. The last mechanic said that the rod end bearings for the flap controls needed to be replaced. So I've got new rod end bearings and I might replace those. But it's 4 o'clock now in the afternoon, a little after 4. I think I'm going to run to town to the post office and see if that felt came in yet. It should be here today. I've been watching the tracking on the oil cooler and I'm not sure what's going on in that. It said it's out of Seattle. I was hoping it'd be here today. It says it's going to be here on the 9th, which is next Monday. I was hoping it'd be here before then. But anyway, I'm going to go see if I can get that felt, and then I can get that baffling all put together and start putting that on the engine